This is Hazken's Hardcore Lotro Challenge, where I take on Lord of the Rings Online's max difficulty level 9 on all 12 classes in the game. The catch, each of my characters have 1 life. If a character dies, however, it can be revived by reaching a goal level. Goal levels being every 10 levels starting at 20. We are in an amazing spot right now. We have 1 revive banked for my Bjorning, reaching level 20, and I have all the resources I could possibly ask for to craft solid gear for my weaker of the 12 classes. So today, the real challenge begins. I'm going to attempt to level none other than my Brawler. The Brawler is an amazing single target DPS and is a blast to play. However, there is little to no self-sustain, which leaves me very vulnerable to literally everything on max difficulty. What's up, squad? I just spent the last hour and a half crafting the best possible gear and buffs I can get to hopefully get this guy leveled up, and after I grab all these quests, we're riding over to pick it all up. Let me just make this bigger so you can see the sheer scale of this. Look at all this. This is level 7 through 15 armor, weapons, scrolls, potions, food, everything I could possibly think of to give me the best possible chances at surviving to 20. If there's a time to make it, now's that time. Now that we got all this armor equipped and my buffs hotbarred, here are the stats before and after. And now it's time to get active. So if you notice, there's a little bit of a different flow to this episode, and the reason for that is I'm trying to do less voiceovers and more live me talking to y'all because, drumroll please, we're starting streaming. I hope you caught my first stream last Sunday, but if not, no worries, we're running it back shortly after this video goes live, so check it out at twitch.tv/Hazken or right here on YouTube. Say what's up, drop a follow to not miss me going live, drop a sub, would love to see you there. But back to the episode. Today we're leveling through the Shire, the starting map for the hobbits. And if there's one thing to know when questing with hobbits, it's that you're going to end up doing a bunch of random boring stuff. For example, this restoring the quick post quest. This is one of many delivery quests in a deed to restore the quick post. And you literally just have to run from point A to point B. And if you mess up and step in too deep of water, it fails the quest and you have to redo it. Bruh. Luckily, after finishing this delivery, I level up to 8, and now it's time to choose my trait line. Red line, of course, is the primary damage line with 0 self-sustain, so I go blue line specifically for the 10% HP gain and 5% physical mitigation, but also for the possibility of maybe getting some self-preservation skills. And I spec into more health, a heal, and parry chance. And now it's time for some very intense questing, like this game of hide and seek. I won't bore you with all those quests, so with the save quest done, I now get to take on the quest in Tookland. First up, I need to help these 2 fine hobbits retrieve a satchel they left in a tree. They throw a rock up there and trying to get it down, but it hits a beehive. So I fight the bees with like kung fu skills. Wax on, wax off. Round 2, they hit the beehive again, knocking it down. However, this attracts bears. And on their 3rd attempt, they get it. So I continue on and decide to finish my bear pelt quest, taking on the bears nearby. And I'm not doing too bad, all things considered. They hit hard, but it's no biggie. However, I ignore the bleed on me and it wrecks me. And this next bear I aggro doesn't only put another bleed on me, but gets the yellow enraged buff, which makes it run stupid fast and do more damage. I foolishly try to run away, and the second bleed I ignored melts my health. And I'm dead. Level 8. That's about what I expected for a brawler, but looking back, this might have been more of a skill issue than a class issue. Anyway, let me just, So today, the real challenge begins. I'm going to attempt to level none other than my champion. The champion is an amazing AoE DPS and is a blast to play on normal mode because you just through everything. However, that's as far as my champion knowledge goes. Just, What's up, squad? Definitely the first time saying hello today. Here's the plan. For most of the series so far, aside from my Runekeeper, I've been following the main quest line. That ends now. My champion won't be following the main storyline. Instead, he'll be following our adventuring companion, Bingo Boffin. And let me tell you, we're gonna go on many adventures together. The goal of this episode are: help Bingo leave the Shire, do as much of the deeds as possible before leaving. This way, when I come back to finish these, it doesn't take too long. More of an IRL reason than the game reason. I have to see the sun sometime. And don't die. With these goals set, I collect food for Bingo's journey, and on the way back, I choose my trait line. Yellow is the AoE spinny trait line of doom for your enemies, aka what you think of when you go champion in character creation. Red is single target DPS, and good old blue is the tank spec, and it's surprisingly really solid. It increases mitigation, gives you a bubble skill which is 25% of your HP, and a damage boost, and it gives you passive healing. This might actually be way easier than I thought going into this. I fully expected Champion to be one of the problem children of the 12, not to name any names. But with the extra health and lowering enemy outgoing damage with my Blade Wall skill spec'd into, I hit the road. There's a quick post to restore. Alright squad, this is the first fighting I'll be doing on my champion, and after what just happened on my brawler, I'm not feeling too confident, but we're gonna give this a shot. So the plan here is to take things very sneaky and very tactical. Only take fights that are necessary to get them this money back. Okay, I'm out. And I gotta get this guy for their orders. There's no need to stick around, but all things considered, I didn't suffer too bad in those couple fights, so moving forward, I won't play as scared. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at the tankiness of the champion so far, but this little town's quests are complete and there's a quick post to restore. Okay, we're back in Tookland. Now we need to smack some rats, smack some more rats, run it back with these two goons, and show these bears who's boss. Not too bad. Level 10 achieved. Now, this hobbit decided to have a honey farm right next to the bear den. Unfortunate for our new friend Polo here, I'm gonna use him as a meat shield because I don't think I can take all three at a time. Meat shield did his job splendidly. Now into the den. Gotta love this sight. Two massive bears angrily chasing you while your back is to their cave's back wall. And all this for a little tobacco. It's kind of clear where the hobbits' heads are at. That was actually way too close for comfort, but we're doing all right, and we got the pipeweed. Now for the next couple levels, I was running around the Shire, saving chickens, bringing bingo supplies, harvesting chicken eggs, delivering the eggs, grabbing apples. I'll spare you the rest of it. But after 45 minutes of running around doing hobbit chore quests, I reach Overhill where I'm now level 12, and the quests pick up a little bit. I get to fight some bears, get to sneakily grab this barrel from the spider lair, and as a reward for my patience, when I turned in my barrel quest at Needlehole, I unlocked a new delivery quest. I get to deliver spoiled pies from every town on the map to Hobbiton. Score! And this all brings me to Frogmorton, where I face off with Lobelia the Toad, and this was a mighty battle. And now I head east to the town of Stock, right by the borders of Breeland, to find Bingo Boffin. But before, I reach Wood Hall, where I'm tasked with searching Old Odo's farm. And I find it's overrun by brigands. So naturally, I clear my way through, taking out group by group, and I find a hobbit in a cage who I have to defend. 3 waves of brigands with their focus on me. It's a decent bit of pressure, but I'm able to power through quite well. The more I play champ, the more it's impressing me. After those thrilling deliveries, I make my way to Stock Tower, where I find Bingo atop and out of breath. This is the first time I've seen any resemblance of a jumping puzzle in Lotro. Basically a spot you can only get to by jumping instead of just running. Guild Wars 2 is a great example of jumping puzzles. I hope there's more throughout the world that I just don't know about. If there are, let me know where in the comments. But back to the adventure. I speak with Bingo at the Golden Perch Inn, reaching level 14, and now he's properly trained his strength. He wants to train swimming for his adventure. Reaching level 14 gives me a massive heal, which will be great for sustaining through tougher battles. But after lots of dawdling, Bingo swims? And after talking to Farmer Maggot, I'm tasked with taking on another bandit camp, where we believe a hobbit is being held. So I slash and I cut and I... all the way up the hill, and at the top, I start to limit test myself. And the more I pull, the more confident I'm getting. I'm able to sustain very well through multiple foes, and I'm doing really solid damage. But it's now time to save this hobbit. So when taking on this group, I move into melee range so these archers aren't doing their full strength hits against me, and I escort Violet back down the hill and out of the camp. It's then I realized I left an item I needed to collect here, so I went back in deeper, taking out these gate guards and getting a nice scoop, and then make my way down and grab the yeast for the bartender in Stock. But for the love of the game and being starved for proper combat all day, I push deeper, facing bigger groups of enemies until I come to the back of the camp where half-orcs reside. And I planned on taking out every single one of these guys until this wraith spawned. I considered pushing my luck, but I decided against it and ride out as far as I could, then clear the rest of the way out so I don't die. Heading back to Michael Delving to help Bingo do his last preparations before heading out, I speak to Bert here and get a new traveling companion, Daisy the Brown Rabbit. Bert here will have items and pets for sale throughout the adventure with Bingo, and with every new quest completed, there's new items to be collected. But now it's time to take on my last challenge before following Bingo to Buckland. I was tasked with taking out the hordes of wolves that have taken over these poor farms. Like, they're completely overrun. So I through groups of them before facing Langut. And I start this fight at low HP. I get a bubble off early, and as my HP gets low, my healing strike gets activated and it gets me high enough to finish off the fight. As I tie up loose ends here in the Shire, I must say the champion has surprised me very much this episode. I know we're just in the Shire and it's not the toughest of areas, but still, I was able to push my champion's limits way farther than I thought previously possible. So as we travel into Breeland with Bingo, I'm quite confident that not only will the champion be a class that I won't have to worry about too much, but it'll be a class that I'm confident pushing forward and facing new dangers without fear of dying in this challenge. With limitations, of course. We'll continue our adventure with Bingo in the next episode, and man, is it gonna get crazy. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like, drop a sub, and don't forget to check me out live. Stay scooping, squad.